Akai force. So I got my force right here. I got my track lip sample lined up. And we're gonna get it popping, man. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I got the Akai force. And you can see by the brightness on the screen, we are chopping it down on a track lib sample. And today I plan on just kind of stumbling through the Akai force and trying to see what it's like to get to the end of a beat. See how it feels with the meters and all this different stuff. I'm probably going to talk through most of this video. So if you're not here for that, then you should probably leave now. But if you're here to see that, welcome. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. I could give you some arbitrary stat of how many people are watching and aren't subscribed. But I don't feel like doing that right now. Alright, so we got this. I'm going to convert it. And I don't do pad parameters, and you'll understand why. Because sometimes when you're playing the sample, you have to go back and you got to fix it. You know, it might just not play the length, and you can spend hours time stretching. Or you could go in and fix the end of the sample, and it'll play out properly. Insert the gym sound. So now that we got this lined up, you know, I'm struggling with this record button situation. You know, I think I'll get the hang of it after a while, but right now I'm still having some issues getting it to catch the first one or what I'm trying to record. I need to get a proper count in or something of that nature. If you got a Akai force, leave it in the comments. Truly, it could help me out. But if you don't, I'll still find it. So right here, we have this at a 4-bar. And what I want to do is just throw something down just to get the feel. If we don't like it, we can replace it later. Gotta learn not to fall in love with the chops. Make sure you check out my personal expansions. I'm gonna go grab this from the Cotton Gardens machine expansion that I made. You want that good Midwest slap drum kit. Got that hip hop feel to it. It sound like a Detroit sample or a Chicago stack sample anyway, you know what I mean? There's a couple parts in this sample where it sounds like it skips, but I like that right there. That's why I like to manually chop, because if you manually chop, then what happens is instinctively you're going to either be before the snare or after the snare. And so it gives you some pretty cool results. If you're just going to play back a loop, you can still alter the loop some by how you chop it. So that's one of my advices, is even if you're going to loop it up, you should still chop it down and manually chop. We're not going to say that lazy chop bullshit. That's some other shit. One thing that I like about the force is when you're in this mixer window, if you notice, if you look at the green mixer, when I hit the pad, you'll see these green lines on the outside. I believe believe that's the velocity of how hard I'm hitting the pad. It's like an input meter, meaty input meter, pressure, something of that nature. I really like it though. The benefit of not having the software with the Force is that you have everything stand in the box, standalone. So they give you really good meters. They give you good ways to route the effects to the pads. You know, it's a lot of cool things that really help you get it done, because if you can't get it done from start to finish in this thing, ain't no other option but to bounce the stems. Make sure you're using your drum effects, because we're about to make that kick come to life. And we're going to get it at the root, so it saves all the dynamics like it's doing right now. From the people I learned, you turn it all the way up to the loudness you want it, and then you trim it down to right underneath where you feel like it's good. That's from the O.G.s I learned from. You know, you got your way of how you gonna do it, but that's my way of how I do it, you know what I mean? In case you wanted to know, you got it right there. I definitely like these Q links. I feel like these Q links are set up in a way that will help me on my MPC1 and my Live 2, because they're mapped the same way. So instead of having 4, we got 8. So if you think about it in the process of the MPC with 4 Q links, on here page 1 covers the first 8 after a month of reading those first 8. It's the same as looking at page 1 and 2 on the MPC1. So believe it or not, I do believe utilizing the Akai Force will make me extremely better at other aspects of the MPC that I don't utilize, like clips mode and things of that nature, because that's all this operates off of, is just out of clips mode first. So far, that's what I know. Not trying to be up here and be loud and wrong. So, from what I know at this moment, that's where we at with it. You're going to build up this drum loop, and then we're going to copy it over. Copy it down to another pad, you know what I mean? And then we could do our deductive method of how we put the song together. I'm gonna let it ride for a second while I do that. We're gonna be here for a second. I might have to sage the beat with some magic O.T.G sage. Sage the beat. Let's start rocking. See, we're gonna go through now and fix some of those parts I was telling you about. That's how you get it together right there. Once I get it, we're gonna clean it up. You'll hear how it'll fade together. It keeps resetting because it's playing. See, we're gonna move it just a little bit. Here we go right now. See, we got no skip no more. What kind of magic is this? This is called why you don't chop it past, you don't do pad parameters, no destructive chopping. One of the things I really like about this is being able to copy the pieces. So if you think about it like sequences, a clip is like a sequence, or each lane is like a track, and then you could just build the sequence off your clips. And so now, with the same drums, we're able to build different parts a lot faster. It's important for certain beats for you to have these type of different parts. People ask a lot about how do you know when to create different sections. I believe the music will tell you. If you listen long enough and do it long enough, certain beats, you could tell like this drum is good enough not to stat with a bunch of different things. We'll play with the dynamics of it and all of that. The mix of it, add to the highs, try and make it a little more snappy or something. But overall, on this, you just need sample and drums. One of the keys to pull in is that it has most of the components that you're looking for in a beat. So right there, you can hear it's got a bass. It's got a couple parts that blend together pretty well. It's got a piano, strings, voices. So in that aspect, if you guys know this trick with the recording, you could definitely help me. I'm in the struggle for real. I think it's only right to show the whole process though. In a little while, we won't even know. I won't even know what that feel like. It'll be a slight memory, but right now it's killing me. I like that part way better than the first part. It matches. Something I wish Akai would let us do. If we could switch, like the shift and navigate or shift. Some of that stuff don't make no sense. Maybe it would if I was using Ableton again. This is just my first reaction, trying to make a full beat from start to finish. You know what I mean? Need to learn the shortcut to the notes editor. I put it on sound menu on the swipe out. See, we got another part we got fixed. Having the 64 pads, I love it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you check out the masterclass. Bunch of new content coming on the way. You know, we're gonna really lock it down with these MPCs. Ableton, Reason, the RC202, Roland Verse Lab, TR6. Make sure you subscribe if you try and learn any of this stuff. I'm gonna walk you through it all the way from top to bottom to the most complex. Then we're gonna record a whole album. Then we're gonna mix a whole album. Then we're gonna promote the whole album. And we're gonna do it again. Lifetime means lifetime. So if you're here for a lifetime, make sure you subscribe. I don't like that one, so I'm gonna tell you it out so I don't accidentally hit it. Try to do your housekeeping along the way so you don't get lost. It's one of the best things to know about clip-based producing. Trying to add some definition to these sounds. You know what I mean? Everything sound cool, but we can bring it more alive. It's one of the things that I like again about this Akai Force is the ability to be hands-on. So far, I feel like it's the best of both worlds. I've seen a couple MPCXs and it's cool, but it seems big, and if I was gonna go super big, I don't necessarily need 16 pads. I definitely could utilize 64 pads, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's a good breakdown. Might be a good in-between for somebody. And then the whole outs conversation, you know, it's a truly standalone device. So the outs coming out of it gotta be different than the regular, you know what I mean? You can hear them right now even though I got them running through something. Tapping it down, you know. He did some work on the sample with the EQ and all that. I like the advanced 16 levels. Gives you your tuning and all that right at the bottom. Everything is on right in front of you. I don't know, let me know in the comments if there's a shortcut to the sample edit. That would be good too, you know what I mean? Certain things I use in my production I really just like. Those are two buttons, dedicated buttons that I really like: program edit and sample edit. On this joint, it's alright though to press shift and clip. That'll get you to program edit. It's not too far. I need to know what's the shortcut to get to sample edit. I put it on the sounds menu though. I like the 4-band EQ. Right now we working on the snare. Gonna add a little reverb to it. Put it directly on the sound because I don't want to put it on the send. I put it on the send, then whatever I send there is going to be affected in the same time as this reverb. And you know, if we're doing vocals or something like that and you're trying to find some kind of consistency across the track, then doing that is cool. But if you're trying to do that with a drum set or different things, you know, the way they mic'd up, the placement of them in the room and all that is way different. So you want to have the reverb in different places. Do it on a per pad level. So one of the things I think guys need to think about is when you talk about your memory. So we talk a lot about memory on the MPCs and things of that nature, but when we're talking about memory on the MPC, we're talking about it a little bit different than what we're talking on the computer. It handles memory a lot different. So, you know, the way that you utilize your, I don't think that your effects really tax the memory too crazy. It seems like it would be more of what you're loading into the memory, which would be like your wave files and things of that nature. But if you're streaming those direct from disk on the Force, then you know the only reasons why the plugins take up a lot more is because a lot of them are based like key groups in some ways. When it comes to doing your effects, I say that to say you could go crazy with your effects, guys. You know, don't be scared. See, so here's a great example of why we dropped the snare and then we could go to the clap. You know, you can really hear that bass line now. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you check out the masterclass, free drum kit, coaching. If you want to be coached, you know, I know these machines like the back of my hand and I'm learning a new one. You can see I use them all day, all night. So if you need to get coached on the technical skills and the technical skills of creating music, technical aspects of sound, and need an explanation to walk you through it, 365OTG@gmail. You can follow me now, everything at 365OTG, Instagram, Twitter. I'm the most active on Twitter. You're getting more active on IG. Facebook page, 365OTG. Linktree, everything. You know, that's me. Google it, you'll find me. That sounded cool, didn't it? You should say that sometimes. Google it, you'll find me. Even if they don't find you, you should still say it. The only bad thing is if they look in front of you and you don't come up. But anyway, Right now we working on the clap. Want it to sit in the low mids and the mids and give it a little bit of a feel. I wanted the highs just to touch a little bit. Once you start placing the music in your mix, you can hear how the bells sound like they're moving, and that's all in where I'm placing the clap. Kick, if you got headphones on, you'll be able to tell. It sounds like the kick got reverb on it, but it don't. That's going into the drum effects and pulling up the dynamics of it. You know what I'm saying? Pulling that soft clipper up, adding a little bass, expanding it. Can hear kind of the dampening of the kick drum that it's emulating. You have to remember a lot of these sounds that we use, you know, as much as people diss sounds and say all this other stuff, you know, most of this stuff is built off of other samples on top of other samples on top of samples. So, you know, there's a million drums out there, there's a million machines, and what we're using, most of the same sounds are what people like, you know what I'm saying? And you could try to go outside of that, that's cool, but in the nature of what we try and do every day, we utilize the sounds that go together, that are a proven methodology of going together. So I say that to say, most of these sounds that are out here are usable sounds. Again, it's up to you to expand them. Like I preach in a lot of the videos, you know, EQ, compression, panning, delay, reverb, gain staging, you know, understanding the root of the sound, understanding what you want to pull out of the sound, understanding where you want to place the sound. You know, all of that information is locked into it. You know, as much as people complain about drum kits and packs and things of that nature, you know, you take these machines that got pristine sound and then you want to emulate older machines that had a different sound. It's not saying it's bad. It's just saying that you gotta think about the concept of what you're saying when you're saying that. So if you were starting with a noisy sample or a sample that sounded like it was 12 or 16-bit, or you had an everyday kick drum and it sound like the same kick you had 50 times, we'll stack it, drop the pitch on it, you know, bring it up, distort it, run it through a filter, drop the bit rate, you know, contort it. You know, sound design is something that you do on the fly too. You dig? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you can stay up with all the videos and all the other things that I release on a regular basis. Insert the radio voice. Now we getting somewhere. Work on this a little bit more. necessarily say it's all the way wrong, but what I really should have done is split the sample and put it on another channel. So the stuff that I did on one sample doesn't affect the other sample. You know, because we like one sound setting on one sample with the voices, and it has a lot of different other stuff going on. On this one is a different feel, you know what I mean? But for the purpose of showing you the sweet spot and just using your ears, you know what I mean? See, so you can hear the change, but it's okay, we're going to use it. That's why I went and switched it to the other side, but then any change that I make on this is going to affect the other sound. So you got to keep that in mind, and you got to keep your ears in tune. That's one thing you want to do, is be locked in. Have your ears locked in to what you're trying to do, you know what I mean? Even if I'm doing other things, I still keep my ears locked into a specific part of the beat. Once I lose that part of the beat, it's time to turn it off. You know, so there's certain things that I hear that I lock into. Like this, I locked into the bass line. Now it looks like we got it together. I'm going to try this arrange. O.T.G from the future is going to tell you that I made a mistake. So this is future O.T.G on the beat telling you that I made a mistake. I didn't go turn off the loop. So I had this pretty cool, amazing performance that you're going to watch right now. And it didn't matter, because when I was done, it was just 4 bars. Because it was looped up. I decided to keep it in the video because I wanted to take this time to explain to you that it doesn't matter what you're using. You could be on an Akai Touch, you could be on an MPC-1, Force, an XSE, a live tube, an app, whatever it is, man. Certain concepts that we utilize to make music, those concepts reach across all platforms, all machines. You know, and certain things are your responsibility of what you have to do as a producer. So you need to understand inputs and outputs. You need to understand what's coming in your machine and what's going out of your machine. You need to understand your audio chain. You know, what is before your MPC and what is after your MPC. If it's just your MPC or if it's just your computer, you need to understand the audio and what you're listening to. What you're listening to right now is the Akai Force giving you a prediction of what it would sound like if I mixed it down. You don't really know what it is until you mix it down. That's when all of this processing is processing to the audio. It's something that a lot of people lose out on, or I think they don't know, is that, you know, until you print it, it's not actually in the audio. It's just playing from, it's the machine or the computer's best idea of what it would sound like when it's fully processed, which it won't sound like. So it was at this moment that I knew I messed up. Future O.T.G talking to you. So if you notice, you can see it's only 4 bars. When I turned the loop off, the arranger disappeared. So, you know, it's important to show, I could have edited it, but it's important to show that sometimes you come up against problems and I ain't know what the hell to do. You know, I already have felt like I was taking a long time, longer than normal, you know, but we don't give up. We figure it out. You know what I mean? So now we going to do it again. And this time, because I was locked in, there were some changes I wanted to make to the arrangement. So this is the arrangement that we go with. Yep, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Make sure you check out everything in the description. If you got a skinny MPC, go grab 15 gigabytes worth of sounds, O.T.G's personal expansions. If you're looking to get better on your MPC and just want to support the channel, you see the vision of what's about to come, and you need to be locked in a place that reminds you and shows you how to make music on a regular basis every day, go check out the MASTERCLASSES. It's 3 levels. All of them have lifetime updates. The first level is for everybody on a budget, $777. The next level comes with a couple expansions. The third level comes with all of the expansions. All of them will come with updates and the videos that I post on YouTube and different exclusives. Make sure you follow me on all social media, 365 O.T.G. O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. We do it every day. And in closing, I really like this force. You know, it's a workflow that I'm used to. It takes some workflows of a bunch of things that I love, and it's all in one thing. I love the MPC. I love Machine Jam. I love Ableton. I love having sounds, so having the MPC plugins is a blessing. I love having the ability to chop in a lot of pieces. So having 64 pads is great. You know, the input and output sounds amazing. I'm great on the computer, so I want something that has a sound, a specific sound every time you hear it. So this not having any software works great for me. I love the Q links. There's a lot of things that I still gotta learn. But so far, I'm probably the happiest with a Akai product that I've ever been, and I've owned a lot of them. You know, I could see the future, and the future is with a lot of dope things. Also has a bunch of effects, just like the SP404. You know, you got macros and all kinds of other cool stuff we want to get into. And I also believe this makes me better at my MPC, as I described earlier. So, you know, I'm extremely happy. I'm not going to tell you what to do. This might be overload or overkill. But for me, it works in just great. I like the beat. You know, I like that I use swing, one of the things that I use from the Q-Links. You know, I spend a little bit more time going in on the beat. Right now, we on the master channel. So we're going to go in and tap it in one time on the master fader. Give it a good feel. And with that, man, I'm out. It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Beat Builder TV. Chopping it down with a track lib sample on the Akai Force. From start to finish. It's like 2 minutes left. So shout out to everybody from Instagram, everybody from YouTube, everybody from Reddit, all the people who like, all the people who don't, all the people who subscribe, all the people who don't, all the people who think the beats are dope, all the people who don't. Salute to everybody. All you guys who want to watch in the future who just stumbled across this, shout out to you. And on that note, we are really out. 365 O.T.G. Supply the work. It's your brother.